presentation of HBO Sports.
It's always quiet. I get up in the morning, I run, I don't even have no music on because it's so quiet. I love it.
The reigning middleweight champion craves the solitude, needs the clean, crisp air of the Pocono Mountains, because deep down, Jermaine Taylor is still searching for that defining victory, a domination so complete, it silences his critics.
I'm middleweight champion of the world, and I'm feeling like I still got something to prove.
You got 3 minutes, man. You got to fight.
When the official decision is announced in favor of Taylor, a lot of the crowd is going to boo.
Undefeated almost certainly ends for one of these two fighters tonight. Kelly Pavlik is the division's rising star, knockout specialist with a singular focus, take what Taylor has.
Anytime I fight, I come to fight. There's no dancing around.
Pavlik is showing no fear whatsoever. Big right hand.
Oh, that hurt him. He's out.
For the first time, Jermaine Taylor finds himself against a longer, stronger opponent. The hunter has become the hunted.
There's the heart of a lion, and I've been in there with the best, so I know what they expect. What can you do?
That's the question. What can you do? Jermaine Taylor, can you solidify your place among the greats? Kelly Pavlik, will it be your breakthrough night? It's Jermaine Taylor versus Kelly Pavlik on World Championship Boxing next.
World Championship Boxing is back, coming to you live once again from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. First up, young welterweight Andre Berto takes a step up in class, beating battle-tested David Estrada. Then in our main event, middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor takes on what is perceived to be yet another supremely difficult assignment in a list of them for Taylor, Youngstown, Ohio's Kelly Pavlik. A gorgeous day on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, a beautiful scene inside Boardwalk Hall. As almost all of the seats will be filled for this battle between two unbeaten American fighters for the legitimate middleweight championship of the world. Hello again, I'm Jim Lampley. When Jermaine Taylor snapped Bernard Hopkins' record 20 title defense streak in the middleweight division and took Hopkins' middleweight championship a couple of years ago, the stage seemed to be set for the continuing development of a great American boxing career. Now, 2 years later, the world continues to wait for Taylor to be great, and he has become the centerpiece of a storm of criticism in the sport, from those who think that he has fallen well short of his vast potential, most particularly in his two most recent victories against much smaller southpaw fighters, Kasim Uma and Corey Spinks. Tonight, he has a tremendous chance to silence the critics, taking on a hard-punching, unbeaten, thoroughly qualified challenger in Kelly Pavlik. For more on the subject, let's turn to the former unbeaten, or I should say the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis. I'd like to make you unbeaten, Lennox. It'd be fun for the record. And talk about all that storm of criticism which has surrounded Jermaine Taylor. Lennox, he's still an unbeaten fighter, so is the criticism justified?
Well, if it's justified or not, he's took it to heart. Him and Emmanuel has gone up to training camp so they can spend a lot of time together, so they can work on the fundamentals. This is what he needs, and only good can come from that.
An attempted rebirth for Taylor in the hands of his legendary trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. That would seem, as Lennox says, to be the positive outgrowth from all the criticism he's faced. Larry Merchant, we all know about how much abuse has been heaped on Taylor, and Pavlik has become totally celebrated as the result of his stunning 7th-round knockout victory over Edison Miranda to set up this fight. So how will all of the negativity that surrounds Taylor possibly rub off on Pavlik?
It should remind him, Jim, that the champion is unbeaten, but not unbeatable. And that is the main issue, and that is recognized by Emmanuel Stewart, who in a transparent attempt to pump up Taylor has been blowing more smoke going into this fight than all the old steel mills in Youngstown, saying, for example, that that sensational victory over a very tough, hard-punching Miranda was an illusion for Pavlik. Smoke. The salient question, Jim, is who smokes whom in the fight?
In what could be a smoking fight, because both are regarded as mostly offensive, relatively high-contact fighters. And up next, our main event from here in Atlantic City. Middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor facing for the first time a man who is longer and possibly stronger in Kelly Pavlik. That fight will begin in just a few minutes. A pulsating arena. Tremendous excitement now as everyone here gets ready for the main event of the evening after having been tuned up by a spectacular performance by young Andre Berto. Welcome back once again with former world heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis. Lennox, we began the evening talking about the firestorm of criticism which has surrounded Jermaine Taylor for his unimpressive performances in recent fights, particularly against Kassim Ouma and Corey Spinks. We know what's bad about Taylor. All you have to do is look at the boxing websites to learn that. But he's still unbeaten. He's still the middleweight champion of the world. So what's good about him?
What's good about him, that he's a great athlete. He's got that desire, that burning desire to win at any cost. He's got money in the bank. He's bought his parents a house. I don't know if that's good because he said he wants to box for money. He's got money now. He's rich. Now does he want to be a champion? This is the question we're going to see in the fight.
Well, a lot of people have been waiting to see if the great Emmanuel Stewart can produce a genuine enhancement of Jermaine Taylor's boxing skills. And a lot of people say if it's ever going to happen, it'll happen tonight because they've spent time alone in a training camp for the first time. The man who wanted Stewart to become Taylor's trainer is his longtime mentor and extremely close advisor, Ozell Nelson. Together, they've fashioned the best kind of boxing stories, rags to riches for the right reasons. Let's go to Little Rock.
Scenes like this once defined Ozell Nelson's life. He was a bricklayer, just like his brothers, just like his father before him. But for Nelson, there was always something beyond the sun, cement, and cinder block. A different kind of craft he had always wanted to touch, but never could.
Well, I always have been like a street fighter, you know. In school, I loved to box, but I guess I had nobody to guide me. When my nephew came along, he wanted to box. I said, man, I'm gonna find you a gym.
Here at the Arkansas Boxing Club in Little Rock, Nelson found not only a gym for his nephew, but an outlet for his own boxing passion. After 4 years as an assistant trainer, Nelson inherited full reign over the club, and with it, a demanding second career.
Me and him were working together, and we had an understanding that he can go take off whenever he get ready. But a lot of kids that he had wasn't fortunate enough to get back and forth to his gym, so he would basically go pick up kids.
I had this pickup truck. I probably had about 12, 15 kids on the truck, because that's the only way that I was gonna have some kids at the gym. It was for me to go pick them up.
One of those kids was Jermaine Taylor. Taylor was 13 years old when a cousin first brought him to Nelson's gym. His circumstances at home, however, meant he was mature beyond his years.
My mother had to work. Daddy wasn't there. So it was just me. I had to be the man of the house at an early age. But I didn't mind. I took care of business. I did what had to be done.
I talked to his mother, and he said, Coach, I'm holding you responsible for my baby. And I said, okay. I said, I will take care of him.
For Jermaine and the other kids at the club, Ozell's lessons extended far beyond boxing.
I said, from now on, when y'all come down here, it's yes, sir, no, sir. And when you talk to anybody, I want to hear yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. If it don't, it's 20 push-up. I don't care where we at.
I start respecting him when, he showed me that he cared. He'll come get me wherever I'm at. He'll drive all the way, even though it's out of his way. He'll come pick me up. I ain't never really had no man really, step in my life. Kind of take over like that.
Jermaine took to Ozell so quick because he needed a father. And That's exactly what Ozell was to Jermaine.
A lot of times that we went on fights, I was too tired to take him home. So I used to tell his mom, I said, Jermaine just gonna stay with me. So Jermaine became part of the family.
You know, I bet that was the hardest thing in the world because he has his own family. It took me a while to understand that, you know, what he was sacrificing and the things he going through. But I think I finally realized when he took me on the job with him.
Nobody wants to be a bricklayer because that's a one hard, hot job. So I brought Jermaine out there one day, you know, just to show how it feels, you know. I said, you want to get a better job than what I got here.
And man, I'm just like, it's hot out here. And he just, the heat is ridiculous.
And Jermaine hauled up, Coach. He said, I'm ready to listen to you now, Coach. He said, what's that? He said, I'm ready to box.
For Taylor, boxing was a way out from his often violent surroundings.
When the summer came, we always shut our gym down because it was so hot. And Jermaine came to me. He didn't want to. He come out, saw him come with his head down. You know. He said, Coach, you shut the gym down, I'm gonna get in trouble.
I remember coming home from boxing practice, and a friend of mine got shot. Somebody got robbed, somebody got stabbed. And I always told myself, you know, that thank God for boxing, I was gone. And then he told me he was gonna close down the gym. I was like, oh man, it's over. I'm finna get in all kinds of trouble.
So I said, Jermaine, I tell you what, I'm gonna keep the gym open because I see something in you.
It's kind of scary because he already knew it. He's seen it before. He told me all this was coming. He told me I was gonna make the Olympic team. He told me I was gonna be champion. And now it's just to where he like, I didn't think we'd go this far.
We helped each other. I mean, it was something that helped me because it was something that I always had wanted to do that couldn't do.
Jermaine Taylor's success means Ozell Nelson's days of manual labor are now a distant memory. He remains, however, Taylor's most trusted confidant, a former bricklayer who laid the foundation for a champion.
I think it's a blessing that God sent this kid into my life, and I guess I was sent into his life.
One of the great things about tonight is that two unbeaten American fighters meet each other for the legitimate middleweight championship of the world. And just as it's wonderful that a town like Little Rock can produce a fighter like Jermaine Taylor, so too it's noteworthy that Kelly Pavlik hails from the working class hero town of Youngstown, Ohio. Larry Merchant, in the countdown show that built up to this fight, you said that Youngstown's great history of boxing, Ray Boom Boom Mancini and others like him, was sort of the muscle memory of that steel town. Exactly how can that help Pavlik in tonight's battle?
Tradition, history, even geography can be destiny. It's to Taylor's enormous credit that coming from Arkansas, he could imagine himself to be a prize fight champion. Youngstown, which is about an hour's drive to Cleveland and Pittsburgh, that whole region has turned out many fighters and champions. Perhaps it's all reflected in Pavlik's style. For a tall guy, he is unusually busy and aggressive. And speaking of muscle memory, when he left home a few days ago to come to Atlantic City, there were 500 people around there giving him, a boxer, a pep rally. A pep rally for a boxer,
Just
Jim.
as though it's the night before the homecoming game, and supposedly as many as 5,000 of Pavlik's friends and family members from Youngstown have made the journey here tonight to be in Atlantic City. When you look at the story of Kelly Pavlik and his background, it's not at all dissimilar to the story of Jermaine Taylor. Simply substitute for the name Ozell Nelson another good American name, Jack Lowe. Let's go to Youngstown.
Youngstown was a steel town at one time. Everybody made a living here through the steel mills. Homes were built and college educations were funded through the mills. Now, they're all gone. No more mills.
Youngstown, Ohio, in the heart of America's Rust Belt, a city which has yet to recover from its economic collapse in the 70s.
Economically, there's nothing here. Youngstown is trying right now to rebound. It's going to be a lot of work. I mean, we've been down for so long.
It was such a proud city, one of the leading cities at one time, and it is no more.
But pride in local boxing endured, peaking during Ray Boom Boom Mancini's heyday in the 80s. It continues today with Kelly Pavlik, a kid who grew up like most boys in this blue-collar mill town.
My mom worked at a restaurant, and my dad worked at the steel mills. I played baseball, football, I played basketball down at the YMCA.
Kelly was a great athlete. Whatever he did, it just seemed to come natural to him.
Michael, my oldest brother, was actually really good at baseball, and my brother Ricky was a really good baseball player. So of course, being the youngest, you just want to follow everything that they do. You want to be as good, if not better.
Three boys never get along in the same house. They love each other to death, but they'd fight with each other, just go to war.
That's what made me, I think, a little tough. Them beat me up all the time, but they also loved me and also watched over me and protected me too, so and taught me a lot of things.
The familial toughness and the need to compete with his brothers led to the youngest Pavlik's penchant for fighting.
In the early 80s, a whole bunch of karate movies were coming on. So we took him to a karate studio, and it just didn't work out.
There wasn't enough contact. It was kind of boring, and I kept begging my mom and dad, let me go down to the boxing gym. I want to, you let Michael and Ricky go down there and box. Let me go down.
The very first day he went there, that was it. I mean, he's been there ever since. It was just an instant love affair.
My mom, it was really hard for me to get her to bring me down here. My dad wasn't very happy with the idea of me coming down here, but they never forced me out of the sport. And they thought that eventually I would get tired of it, and it was a little phase that I was going through.
That little phase is now a lifelong passion. For the past 16 years, the Southside Boxing Club has been Pavlik's second home.
Kelly came in the gym. He was a ballsy kid. He took numerous butt kickings. And he'd leave here T-shirt bleeding, blood, all bloody. And you knew he was a tough kid when he come back.
And you get in there and you get beat up and you get to punch somebody else and beat them up. And it was just that contact, the one-on-one aspect of it that I fell in love with.
Harnessing Pavlik's raw ability was a job for Jack Lowe, a full-time asphalt sealer who also owned a local boxing gym.
I'm up at 5:30 in the morning getting ready to go out to work and do some driveways. Then I'll take a break and I go run Kelly, and then he goes home and I go back out and do driveways till it's time to come to the gym.
Jack Lowe has been with Kelly since he's been 9 years old. He knows what Kelly feels. He knows what to say to Kelly, what not to say to Kelly. They almost know what each other's thinking.
This is a big dream come true. Everybody, whether you're a football coach, baseball coach, basketball coach, or boxing coach, you hope that one kid walks through the door, but you never really think it's gonna happen. You just hope. And I was fortunate. Kelly is stuck with me, and I think we got a good thing going. That's it, stepping down.
Under Lowe's watchful eye, an undefeated knockout artist has emerged.
They put Zertucci to sleep with a right hand.
Of Pavlik's 31 pro fights, 28 have ended early.
The way he trains, the way he works out, when it's time to buckle down, Kelly does the job. And I couldn't be more proud of the kid. He's just a big, brutal, strong middleweight. Kelly's the type of kid that's capable. Once he touches that chin, you're going to change your game plan.
Kelly Pavlik has a huge knockout victory.
It don't look like I hit that hard on film, or that I'm that strong. I do have power. The knockouts, come along with it.
He's a strong-willed, sturdy fighter with an asphalt sealer as his trainer. No wonder the people of Youngstown can so closely identify with Kelly Pavlik.
People are happy to see something going well. Youngstown's rebounding and gradually, getting better. People are happy to see, what I'm doing with the area, and they support me, and it makes a big difference when you have a lot of fans behind you.
And at ringside, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, among those from Youngstown, here tonight.
Mancini's father was a top fighter, and he flew in from California for this fight. Another ex-lightweight champion, Harry Arroyo, is somewhere in the stands as well.
And Kelly Pavlik is on his way to the ring. And because of the influx of Youngstown fans, along, of course, with the enthusiasm that Pavlik generated in the sport with his tremendous performance against Edison Miranda in May, you have to expect that this will be a pro-Kelly Pavlik crowd during the fight tonight.
Atlantic City is finding out there is life after Arturo Gatti.
And it'll be interesting to see if, in fact, the overwhelming enthusiasm for Pavlik here tonight affects Taylor in any way, given that Jermaine is so accustomed to fighting in Memphis, Tennessee, where many of his big fights have taken place before heavily pro-Jermaine Taylor crowds. But of course, Taylor finds himself a champion who's swimming against the tide of public opinion now, and that is expected to be a big motivator for him in the fight.
Should point out here, Jim, that this is an even money fight until a day or so ago. The money has now come in on the champion. He's an 8-5 favorite.
Lennox, Kelly Pavlik almost always has a smile on his face.
He's just happy to be here. I mean, he can't wait for this fight. He actually ran into the ring to show you how excited he is about this fight.
Now here's the Youngstown crowd, and probably to a certain degree the New Jersey Atlantic City crowd, expressing their disapproval of Taylor. Bad intentions become a bad reception, and you can almost hear Emmanuel Stewart saying, Jermaine, put it to work, baby.
And I can feel for what Emmanuel's saying right now. He means business, and he's telling Jermaine that let's go do this.
According to the promoters, about half the crowd, or 5,000, is from Youngstown, a 6.5-hour drive from Atlantic City. About a quarter of the crowd is from Arkansas, and the other quarter is just us boxing degenerates.
Tale of the tape coming up in a moment for Jermaine Taylor against Kelly Pavlik as you look at the last 3 appearances, or 3 of the last 4 appearances, or 4 actually of the last recent appearances for Taylor in the ring. That was a list of 4 fights counting the 2 wins over Hopkins, the draw with Winky Wright, hotly disputed draw. A lot of people thought Wright deserved the victory. And then Taylor's lopsided decision over Kasim Uma, which impressed few, and his lopsided decision over Corey Spinks, which impressed almost no one. They fought each other in the Olympic trials in the year 2000 when Jermaine was 4 years older at age 21. Now he's 29 and Pavlik is 25. Kelly was only 17 when they met as amateurs. A 1-inch height advantage for Pavlik. Jermaine Taylor has never as a professional been in the ring with someone who lists taller than himself. Arm length advantage of 1 inch measured from the armpit to the end of the fist for Pavlik. They both weighed in at or slightly under the 160-pound limit. Unofficially tonight, Taylor up to 166, Pavlik to 168. They both appeared to be in spectacular shape. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jermaine Taylor Kelly Pavlik fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case of cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round.
There's a lot of excitement in the house, Harold. Thank you. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are starting now by way of Caesars Atlantic City. DeBella Entertainment, in association with Top Rank Incorporated, are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the universally recognized Middleweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by FreeTheFan.com, the best place to talk about sports, sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Tony Orlando, the World Boxing Council President Jose Suleiman, and the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system from Italy: Guido Cavalieri. From the United States, Julie Letterman. From the United States, John Stewart. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Steve Smoger. And now, undefeated challenger versus undefeated champion. Somebody's has gotta go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray with red, official weight 100 159 1/2 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 31 bouts, 31 victories, including 28 knockouts. From Youngstown, Ohio, the undefeated #1 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing white with razorback red trim, official weight 159 pounds. Professional record 28 bouts without a loss, 27 victories, including 70 knockouts with 1 bout even. He's the fighting pride of Little Rock, Arkansas, the universally recognized, undefeated, reigning, defending middleweight champion of the world, Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor.
No. All right, gentlemen, you were given your instructions in your dressing rooms. Please obey my commands, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. God bless you both. Touch gloves. Touch gloves. Thank you.
Does the champion want to keep his championship as much as the challenger wants to take it? Let's get it on.
Looks like to me like they got some disdain for each other. They mean business.
Jermaine Taylor comes out with a big right hand over the top. Referee Steve Smoger, veteran from the Upper East Coast, is known as a puncher's referee. He will let the damage ensue. Kelly Pavlik says he's going to throw 80 to 100 punches per round. And Jermaine Taylor is landing early, getting off faster than Pavlik at the beginning. Good hard jab by Taylor, who said that he's going to reinstitute his jab in this fight, saying that he realizes it hasn't been as good in recent fights as he needs it to be. Taylor sticking his jab in, Pavlik sticking his jab into Taylor's face now. Jermaine missing with a right hand over the top that was designed to do damage.
See, Taylor right now, he needs to focus on stopping Pavlik's jab because he's getting through with his jab, and he has to realize there's a size difference, so he's going to have longer arms, so he's got to prepare for that.
Don't punch. Step. Hands up.
Nervous energy being expended here now.
Pavlik starting to get rolling after having gotten jumped a little bit in activity by Taylor at the start.
He said he wanted to be patient, Jim, but Taylor didn't give him a chance to be patient, although not many of Taylor's punches have actually landed flat.
Pavlik blocking some, but Taylor stuck a couple of left hands in. They trade in the center of the ring. They haven't really moved from the center of the
right
ring.
hand, another one by Pavlik.
Pavlik backing Taylor up with the 2 right hands.
Taylor needs to give Pavlik a lot more respect and keep his hands up, because this is where Pavlik is dangerous, especially in the first rounds. You know, you have to give this guy respect and concentrate a little more on defense and not get hit by these little shots.
Good left hook by Jermaine Taylor. His faster hands apparent, but he hasn't been able to back Pavlik off. Good combination by Pavlik. And a long right hand over the top.
Yeah, Taylor's much too close to Pavlik right now and should be more on his toes and not allow him to get across with these right hands. Definitely he needs to keep that left hand up and not get hit by right hand.
But Lennox, he's not an on-your-toes fighter. He's a flat-footed fighter. He'll come forward or go backward. That's his game.
Your trainers are going to ask them to box. Both guys want to fight. That's what's happening. Crowd begins to chant, Pavlik, Pavlik, Pavlik.
So far, Taylor has stood up to those clean right hands well.
Well, if you notice, he's elected to move his head a bit more, which is much needed.
First round was so active and intense, it seemed short.
He won that round, okay? He got that round, but don't worry about it. You got him fighting at a faster pace than he's used to fighting at. And you get him to go, well, try to rip him to the body some. A lot of the punches where you're punching at him, where he's pulling back, he's out of range because he's fresh. As he slows down, you'll find him with the shots, okay? But try to watch his right hand.
Listen to me. Control the pace, be patient. He's desperate already. He's desperate already. Just relax, stay behind the jab, right hand hook. It's a basic fucking fight with this kid.
Exactly. Jab, jab, right hand, and stay up, stay not in the middle distance, stay outside. That's your fight, baby.
I'm trying to figure out what Emmanuel means when he says he's not used to this pace, when in fact, Kelly Pavlik has fought at much harder paces, throwing many more punches than Taylor in the past.
Pavlik had a big round for CompuBox numbers, landing 43 of 89. Taylor 26 out of 72. Harold Letterman agrees with Emmanuel Stewart that Pavlik won the first round. They go back to trading in the center of the ring. Hard right hand by Taylor. Flush on Pavlik's face. Kelly keeps coming forward.
They broke themselves up.
Taylor needs to settle down a bit. Pavlik has shown great poise. You know, his trainer's right. Really, what he needs to do is fundamentals, and that's jab, jab, right hand, and he's doing a good job at it right now.
Pavlik looks very comfortable midway through round two. Taylor showing a lot of wasted motion, doesn't yet seem to be quite as happy with the way things are going as is Kelly Pavlik. If you saw the countdown show that helped to set up this fight, it established the kind of intensity that is shown there as Taylor suddenly gets Pavlik in big trouble. Kelly Pavlik getting raked by hard right hand and ripped there. And down, Pavlik goes down.
That is it.
That was a tremendous barrage from Jermaine Taylor. That was the best offensive show in Taylor's last 6 fights.
That was a right hand started that barrage. There's a minute and a half to go, a half a round still to go.
And it was followed by a series of rights and lefts. And Taylor has Pavlik in big trouble. And a chance to finish him right here.
I'm so surprised that Pavlik could come back from that. It's still early, that's why he can come back. But he's getting hit. And like I said, Jermaine means real business. He's going for broke now. He wants to win this fight. He wants to take Pavlik out straight away.
And remember, Steve Smoger is not a quick stoppage referee. Steve Smoger is a fight referee who allows the fight to go.
Shows you the kind of determination Pavlik has. He's still hanging on.
Taylor not making clean contact anymore, and Pavlik is beginning to find his legs.
Pavlik is a tough cookie from Youngstown.
It would be shocking if he could finish what he went through, or survive what he went through. Another big uppercut from Taylor. And now Kelly Pavlik has his legs back under him for the moment and starts to hit Taylor back.
Taylor has punched himself out a little bit here, and he needs a blow.
Body shots from Taylor. Pavlik has managed to regain his stability. He's going to make it out of the second round, it appears. What an assault and what a survival.
You're all right, you're all right, you're all right. Give me a towel.
Let me take a look at him. You're all right,
you're all right. You're all right.
Yeah? Is that okay? Let me see.
Good shot.
He's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. It's okay now. It's okay. All right. How you doing, man? You back with us? I'm good. Okay. It's okay.
All right. He's going to come after you. Just caught you. It's stupid shit. Stay on that double fucking jab.
And this is the punch that really hurt Pavlik. He had his hands down, and all of a sudden came an onslaught of punches by Jermaine Taylor. And here we look at the knockdown. Combination of punches that caught him still early in the fight and put him down to his knees.
Last time Jermaine Taylor hurt somebody like that, it was Daniel Edouard in the fight that set up his title shot against Bernard Hopkins. Taylor landed 52 out of 75 punches in the round. Pavlik 20 out of 47. Taylor landed 42 power shots. And if Kelly Pavlik needed to learn respect for Jermaine Taylor's punching power, you would hope he has learned it now. And here comes Pavlik with straight right hands again. He backs Taylor into the corner. What a fight. They dried the blood from Pavlik's nose, and he's alive and well for the moment.
Jack Dempsey said that champions get up when they don't think they can. So do challengers.
Step, step, step.
See, one punch Jermaine does very well is throw a right hand right over Pavlik's jab, so Pavlik can't be slow with that jab. He needs to get it out and back because Jermaine is definitely looking for that overhand right.
This is a gutsy round for Pavlik so far. If he can win this round, it would make a big statement.
He shows that he still believes he's the offensive force in the fight. He goes forward intrepidly into the haymakers and the windmill of Taylor's fast hands.
Push him off, now. Push him off. Hey!
Hard right hand inside for Taylor. Pavlik still sticking his left. Pavlik has tactically controlled this round, and now he lands a big combination and backs Taylor off. Tremendous combination. Pavlik trying to find a damaging right hand. Strafes Taylor with lefts and rights. How will Jermaine get out of the corner? Takes a thudding right hand. Blocks another shot and another booming right. And now Taylor rips it with a left and a right.
Step out. Step out.
Pavlik never really caught Taylor with any flush shots though, but he did give him a lot of punches in there. Something to think about.
Gentlemen, we have a fight.
Taylor had a big rally, but Pavlik for the most part controlled the round. Immediately following Boxing Tonight, countdown to Pacquiao Barrera 2. Our documentary style look at both superstars, heroes in their native countries. October 6th on HBO pay-per-view. Next Saturday night, the live fight. Manny Pacquiao against Marco Antonio Barrera in a rematch of their meeting 4 years ago, which Pacquiao won by spectacular knockout.
And run out of gas and you're in the kitchen, okay?
Come on, Jermaine. You got to stay off the road, baby. Stay off the road. Stay off the road.
Stop it. There ain't no staying in the count. If he stops it, it's over with. You can't let him get too many punches off. If not, just tie him up. But don't let him get too many shots off.
And here's Pavlik catching Jermaine with a body shot, which kind of slowed him down and surprised him for a moment. And after that, a rally of punches.
In the third round, Kelly Pavlik, after having been knocked down and almost out in the second, Pavlik threw 99 punches in round 3, landing 32. Taylor was 21 out of 41, so very accurate for Taylor. But Pavlik had the control of the round. And Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Look at you. In rounds, I've got it 2 rounds to 1. But the all-important points category, 28 to 28, all even, because Jermaine Taylor gets an extra point in round 2 for the knockdown. Jim, I gotta tell you, Jermaine Taylor doesn't stop straight right hands too well. They all seem to land for Kelly Pavlik. But like Larry Merchant said, this is one great fight. 2 rounds to 1, Kelly Pavlik.
Step.
The Pavlik camp has felt that if they can get into the late stages of the fight will be theirs, because Taylor has faded in some fights in the late stages.
Step out. Let him out, Jermaine. Let him out.
Taylor backs into a corner, and Pavlik takes advantage. Once again, Jermaine fights his way out. This time more quickly, listening to Emanuel Stewart, who told him, you can't stay back there in the corner. You've got to get out immediately.
Taylor wanted a conventional fighter. Well, he's got one. But most of your best fighters are conventional fighters.
Pavlik was able to back up Miranda, but it looks like Taylor's stronger than Miranda. He can get out of these corners. And, you know, what Taylor should be doing should be taking 2 steps backwards and not even putting him back on the ropes. He should be taking a step to one of the sides and circle him.
But Taylor fights better going backward than Miranda did, so that's not a problem for Taylor, taking a step back and then a step back in.
Hands up, hands up.
Good 1-2 for Taylor. Neither fighter has been very liberal with body punching so far, but to the degree that either man has landed to the body, it's Kelly Pavlik with chopping right hand. And there's another good right hand right down the barrel by Pavlik. Misses with the left hook. Taylor comes back with a left and a right. Jermaine Taylor was abused in the corners by Winky Wright in their controversial draw in Memphis. Tonight, when he gets into the corners, he's fighting his way out in a hurry. There's a huge left hook for Jermaine Taylor in the center of the ring, and his faster hands are still apparent as we reach the end of round 4.
Oh, well, stay up your leg. Kelly, when you got him against the ropes, measure with a jab.
Yeah.
Don't go and throw.
Yes.
Measure,
Let's
feint,
still
and
double
come back
it.
to the
Let's
body.
still double it. Double it, right hand hook. Or double it, get to the body. Okay? You're doing fine, baby.
At least slowing down, you understand? Your conditioning is beautiful. And watching his right hand, that's all. You're not getting it for nothing else. That's why you see it again that pretty good. Okay. Give me the towel. Towel.
Not many jabs in the fight. Through round 4, Taylor 14 out of 29, Pavlik 9 out of 35. Pavlik slowed down a little bit in round 4, throwing only 66 punches. But once again, Harold Letterman gave Pavlik the round. Generally speaking, he's been able to back Taylor up with his right hand more frequently than Taylor backs him up. Both fighters seem to be scratching to find a new answer now, as they've sort of leveled out with all of the violent assaults that went through the first 3 rounds. It's a little bit more of a boxing match now than was the case early on, Lennox.
Well, and that appears to be in Taylor's favor, isn't it, Lennox?
Yeah, he's doing a great job counter-punching, and that's what he's looking to do. He's letting Kelly Pavlik come at him, and he's looking to counter-punch either with the right hand or the left hook. So he's working off of what Pavlik is doing, and he's watching Pavlik's right hand because he realized that's what Pavlik has that's really dangerous, that he needs to be concerned about.
Pavlik gets caught over the top by a right hand by Taylor, but keeps going forward and presses Taylor with his own 1-2. You heard the veteran.
I see Pavlik blocking most of Taylor's punches because they're wider punches, and he has his arms and his gloves up properly. That one got through.
Well, Taylor has that explosive power that can stun you with a punch, and that's what makes him a good fighter as well, because he's able to explode off a punch, hurt you, and then react off of that.
Emanuel Stewart has told Jermaine Taylor, watch out for Kelly Pavlik's right hand, and Taylor was able to slip a couple of right hands in the corner there.
You know, we've never seen Taylor been hit by many clean, hard punches. He's taken the punches exceedingly well from a puncher in this fight.
Trickle of blood from Kelly Pavlik's nose. Pavlik sticking the jab, getting more effective in this round with the jab, and has been the case before. Taylor comes back, double jab of his own. Body shots by Pavlik as Taylor comes inside.
Step out, step out.
These rounds are going fast. The intensity of the action carrying us along. 5 rounds in the books already. And the bell sounds here in a matter of seconds. Hard right hand just after the bell by Taylor, and Pavlik reaches out and touches gloves.
Working the show now. You won that round. Give me some ice over here on the side over here. Okay? You won that round. Just put it in the back. He's fading. He's fading fast. Get working your golden left arm. Just get to working it, working it, working it, working. And then when the shots come in, he won't see it. And that was good. After you let him shot all his punches, you finished up coming back, okay? He's good.
Mike Pavlik, Kelly's father, here from Youngstown. His mother simply will not come to any of his fights. In fact, she's never watched one of his fights all the way through. Says it makes her too nervous. Not something she can enjoy watching. Mike is a
stay on that double jab, though. When
big,
touch him with
broad,
that right
solid,
hand,
Youngstown,
come back.
Steeltown kind of a guy. Kelly favors his mother. Long, lean.
This must be a pretty good fight, Jim. I've already got 5 dots of blood on my shirt. And it's Pavlik's blood.
Pavlik begins the 6th round searching for a body shot. Harold Ledham agreed with Emmanuel Stewart that Jermaine Taylor won the last round. Pacquiao Barrera countdown coming along immediately following this telecast. Start to get ready for next week. Good left hook by Jermaine Taylor, sneaked past Kelly Pavlik's right-hand guard. Good body shots by Taylor there. Probably the 2 best body shots of the fight. Now another left hand lands flush. Pavlik nodding his head as if to say, okay, you're getting through. Now eat my right hand.
And you know, I haven't seen Pavlik go for the body yet. He's just been headhunting, and maybe he should mix up the punches a little.
There's a body shot with the right hand.
He needs to mix up the punches.
I think that right hand about 15 seconds ago got Taylor's attention.
No question. That's why he backed into the corner. Taylor comes back firing with the left again. You heard Emmanuel Stewart say, keep working that golden left. They want to win the fight with the jab and the hook. Pavlik gets in a straight right again. Keeps coming.
Pavlik's nose is bleeding a little bit, and what that does, it can bother you a little bit because it bothers your breathing. You can't get enough oxygen. Now you have to open your mouth to breathe through your mouth, so you can see Pavlik's mouth open a little bit, trying to get more oxygen.
Pavlik seems to be winning the boxing contest right now.
He didn't in the last round, but this time he's more resolute and coming more straightforward. More jabs means better boxing.
Don't punch, step, step, step.
Spoke to a member of Kelly Pavlik's entourage this afternoon who said the worst thing that could happen to us is if Kelly breaks his nose and has trouble breathing in the fight. Not, of course, that Kelly breaks his own nose, but that Jermaine breaks it with a punch, which is probably what's happened here if it's broken. Certainly it's bleeding.
No. That's it, both of you. Out. That's it, good.
Good left hook by Taylor at the end of that combination.
So far, this is a relative calm after the storm of the first 3 rounds.
Big right hand upstairs by Taylor. Momentarily backs Pavlik off as Kelly was attempting another combination assault.
When Jermaine Taylor hits the ropes, it's like something goes off inside his head and said, this is the time to fight.
You're exactly right, Lennox. That is what he's done throughout his career. When he is attacked, he goes to the right ropes and then stands and fires back.
Breathe deep. Put your legs down.
trying to back him up. Good body shots. You just got to keep working. Keep the pace going.
Breathe deep.
Keep the
Through your
pace
mouth.
going.
Big ones. Come on.
Bend your knees a little bit inside, all right? Bend your knees. Stand the double jab, and it's easy.
Come on, big ones.
You're letting him take the lead too much, and right now he's winning the title because he's more consistent than you are. You have to start working your jab or whatever, and then try to quit just backing up. He's pushing you straight to the rope. Just get back and start working your jab. You understand? That gives him power.
And here you see Pavlik having Taylor against the ropes, but Taylor retaliating with a couple punches and ending off with a right hand.
Jack.
We are halfway through the scheduled 12-round fight. Average punches per round so far, Pavlik 29 out of 74, Taylor 29 out of 59. Harold Letterman, how do you have it on the scorecard?
4 rounds to 2, 57, 56, Kelly Pavlik. Jim, I tell you, I think that his aggressiveness is winning the fight. I mean, you know, moving forward, landing those good, straight, hard right hands. Jermaine Taylor, beautiful job of boxing to win round 5. He gets an extra point in round 2 for the knockdown. The fight is very, very close in points. 4 rounds to 2, Kelly Pavlik.
I have it 3 rounds apiece, which means a 1-point lead for Taylor.
There's a good body shot by Taylor, or excuse me, by Pavlik with the right hand. Both fighters trying to employ the jab here in round 7. Middle portions of the fight, much more a boxing match than the first 3 rounds, which were a wild, all-out slugfest.
And contrary to expectations, we're seeing Pavlik winning the jabbing contest.
Longer. Steps forward. Body shot with the left hand by Pavlik. Good 1-2 upstairs by Taylor, immediately following. Another right hand by Pavlik.
Pavlik said he didn't think that Taylor liked to get hit. Nobody likes to get hit, but Taylor has taken those hits. Taylor said that he didn't think Kelly Pavlik was much.
And that right hand hurt Taylor. Taylor is done. Left hook. Drops Taylor's head up. Uppercut has Taylor in big trouble. Down goes the man. And Steve Berger is going to stop the fight. That is correct. There's a brand new middleweight champion. He's from Youngstown, Ohio. What a knockout assault.
Muscle memory strikes again.
Unbelievable. I don't know where that shot came from, but it definitely hurt Jermaine Taylor.
What a performance by young Pavlik.
What guts.
To get off the floor. The difference in this fight, one man got off the floor, the other man didn't.
You could see it coming about 10 seconds in advance when the right hand drove Taylor into the ropes, and suddenly he was a sitting duck, and Pavlik instantly realized it, Lennox. That was the instinct of a finisher.
I was really surprised that and this is the punch that hurt him. Pavlik has been throwing that jab. Taylor hasn't been blocking it. But here's the right that hurt him, and he's hurt from that punch. He backs up in the corner. He's still... And here's another angle, the same punch. Taylor's eyes are closed. He didn't even see that punch coming. All he seen it was at the last moment when it connected. And here's the end, where the referee steps in. It was a left uppercut that hurt him. It buckled him a little bit. Then a right uppercut that put him on the chin. And the finish, referee steps in, realizes that Taylor's hurt, and stops the fight.
A perfect finishing assault by Kelly Pavlik. This is clinical damage inside, Lennox. Both hands.
And it looks like the uppercuts were really apparent. That's the one that really was the shocker and came from nowhere. Jermaine didn't even see it, but he reacted from it, and whether or not he could have got up or not is the question, because the referee was right there on top of him, but he made no attempt to get up. Kelly Pavlik showing the true heart of a champion.
Well, Michael Buffer said at the beginning somebody's O had to go. It was Taylor's O who went.
By way of Caesars Atlantic City, tonight here in Atlantic City, we have witnessed one of the great middleweight championship bouts in boxing history. Referee Steve Smoger steps in, calls a halt at 2 minutes, 14 seconds, round number 7. The winner by TKO victory and new undefeated middleweight champion of the world, Kelly, the Ghost, Pavlik.
Very few picked him to beat Edison Miranda earlier this summer. He put Miranda away in 7. Jermaine Taylor was an 8-5 favorite tonight. He put Taylor away in 7. Kelly Pavlik has put an imprint on the middleweight division that will not soon be forgotten, and Jermaine Taylor has already left the ring.
Kelly Pavlik came off the floor and came back. When that happens, when you put a guy down and he comes back and you hit him with everything, and all of a sudden he comes back and he's still coming and throwing punches, that's got to do something mentally for you. And what it did for Jermaine was, like, he had to say to himself, this guy's still coming, he's still here.
Final CompuBox numbers. Taylor and Pavlik landing an almost identical number of punches. Taylor landing at a higher accuracy rate. Pavlik showing the will, as he insisted he would, to throw more punches as the fight went on. Power shots. Jabs first. Taylor landing 77 of 207. Pavlik 80 out of 250. They were both dedicated to using the jab. Pavlik's jab was stiffer and longer and controlled more space. And most importantly, as the rounds went on, Pavlik's jab began to set up his power shots until he landed a barrage in the 7th round that closed the show, ultimately landing 100 out of 210 power shots against Taylor, who had a sensational statistical night, landing 65% of his power shots. And incidentally, Larry Merchant, if you're listening, the judges had it 58-55, 59-54, and 58-55, all for Jermaine Taylor. So Pavlik was down 3, 3, and 4 points on the scorecards when he knocked Taylor out. Larry?
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations. Kelly, how close were you to being knocked out in the 2nd round?
I ain't gonna lie, Larry. He caught me with a good one. Obviously, it took the legs from me. You see the way I went down, obviously, and I got back up. It was still a little shaky, but being there with Jermaine, I kick a punch like a mule. He's a big natural middleweight, so I did whatever I possibly can to survive the rest of that round.
Describe what you see.
I see him hit me with a lot of punches. But we sat there, we got through it. We, showed that we have a lot of heart, and he hit me, when I got back up, he hit me a couple other hard shots that I got through. But first, I'd like to thank the Lord, God himself, and bless me with everything and my daughter back home. And the fans of Youngstown, baby!
Kelly, at that moment when you were down, give us your thoughts. Give us your thought process. I came all this way to be knocked out in 2 rounds. How do I get out of this?
You really want to know what I thought?
Yeah.
Shit, this is going to be a long night. But you know what? We dug through it. We did it against Zuniga. Taylor can hit. He's fighting slick veterans, smaller guys, but they could slip punches. He caught me flush, and he's a big kid. I went down, but I showed the heart, and once I got back up and got the cobwebs, I shook them off. I knew I was going to be in for a good night.
In the middle rounds, it was a boxing contest, which seemed to favor his style. Were your thoughts to get into the later rounds because you thought you would prevail then?
Yeah, first of all, I throw a lot of punches around. And the later the fight went, the better I felt, I throw a lot of punches around, I average a lot. But, boxing-wise, I thought I boxed just as good, though, throughout the middle rounds. I mean, jab for jab, I was right there with him, I thought. But great fighter, strong as a mule. I beat the man. I'm just happy. Go thank God and be with my daughter and family.
You hit him a lot of punches in the early rounds. What was different about the 7th round?
I just think it was a total of accumulation of punches. You know, he could take a hell of a shot, which he showed during this fight, but I just think it was an accumulation of punches. You know, I hit him with a lot of flush shots that he took, and eventually I think it just caught up in the 7th round.
All right, we'll have you describe the beginning of the end and the end of the end as soon as we can run these pictures up. Tell us.
That right there was a straight right hand. It's been finding his mark all night. And right there, he kind of had his body turned with his chin straight, you know, right for my right hand to land. And I just followed right back up. That's one thing I do have good, I give myself compliment on, is the finish and touch. You know, I always find a way to finish it.
Was it fair to say the difference in the fight is that you got up and he didn't?
Well, I got up because I didn't get hit as hard. But, you know, I just showed hard. And Jermaine, hey, you know, that was just some brutal shots. If he could have got back up, I'm sure he would have.
Did you realize you were behind in the fight?
I did not know that. Was I?
Yes, you were.
I thought I was winning the fight. But you know what? That's something I got to go home and watch the film, and chances are I'll sit there and say I was losing some of the rounds.
Describe to us what your feelings are coming from Youngstown. So many fighters and champions before in that region, and now you're among them. And maybe you even owe some debt to that tradition.
You know what? I owe everything, not everything, but you know, most of everything. First, I owe my daughter and the Lord Jesus himself. But my fans in Youngstown, you know, you had Harry Arroyo, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, which is in the house tonight, Jeff Lamkin, Greg Richardson. We're a small city, you know, 88,000, 90,000 people. Harry Arroyo, Ray Mancini, you know, everybody knows Ray. You come from a town with only 92,000 people, and you put those types of world champions out there. So a guy like Ray, who's world renowned over and over, it's great. It's an honor to have my name penned up there with these guys, and I just can't wait to go back and talk to them and share some championship stories with them now.
There is a rematch clause in the contract to be fought above the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. Do you want that fight? Do you think he'll want it?
I hope. I get to eat, so I like it. You know, I get to you know, eat some pasta and stuff. So, but we'll see what happens. Let everybody work that out. Hey, Larry, you guys know here at HBO how I am. I love to fight, and I never back down from a fight. And I'm just glad I got my shot now.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Kelly Pavlik.
Thank you for having me on HBO. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Bob Behrman and Lou DiBella. And thank you, fans in Youngstown, Ohio. I love you, Sydney.
Jim?
What a show. You heard ring announcer Michael Buffer call it one of the greatest middleweight championship fights in the history of the sport. Obviously, people are going to be going back through the archives to see what the valid comparisons are. Lennox Lewis, you know, a lot has already been said about a fight in which both men were on the canvas. Both showed heart. Both showed guts. You can't much penalize Taylor for what he did in there tonight. He just got caught in a firestorm.
Well, he got caught in a firestorm. What he should have done is block that jab a bit more, because when that jab is hitting you, you're worried about the jab and you forget about the right hand. You don't see it coming. So he needs to go back to the drawing board and block that jab. But Pavlik showed tremendous heart and will to win. He got off the canvas and came back and said, no, I'm here to win. I'm here to bring this back home to Youngstown. And that's what he did.
Is there a deceptiveness about Kelly Pavlik that might make it difficult for his opponents to understand what they're in against? I'm talking about the pale skin, the thin muscles, the seeming absence of bulk, the long arms. Is it not hard, or is it harder than it might be with other opponents to realize how dangerous he is?
He's very dangerous. What makes him dangerous is the fact that he's tall, he's got long arms, he's strong, and he's got the will of a champion. He wants to win so bad, and this is what came out in this fight. No matter the fact that his nose was bleeding, the fact that he hit the canvas, he still came back with a determination to win. And that's what he did. This is a Youngstown champion right now, and he should be very proud of himself.
Larry Merchant is headed back to Jermaine Taylor's dressing room to try to get us an interview with Taylor, who, as you saw, left the ring in a huge hurry after he had been counted out by referee Steve Smoger and the fight was stopped. And I say counted out because Smoger didn't really count. He actually simply stepped in and waved his arm. And now Larry is ready, I'm told, with Jermaine Taylor. So let's hear the deposed champion's reflections on what happened to him. Larry?
Thank you, Jim. Jermaine, did you think the fight was over in the second round?
I did. I went in there. I had him hurt. I thought I had him. I threw a bunch of unnecessary punches that I shouldn't have thrown. I should have been coming up because, like, everybody was screaming, but I just I went wild and tried to hurt him, get him out of there. And
Are you saying you expended a little bit too much energy after that knockdown and trying to get him out?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Larry. I threw a lot of unnecessary punches that I shouldn't have. I give it to Kelly. He fought a great fight.
But in the middle rounds, when it became a boxing contest, you seemed to be doing well. You were ahead on all of the cards. Were you getting tired? Because he was reaching you with his right hand.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was losing. In my understanding, I was losing. So I was trying to just, trying to hear him get some punches off, and I just wasted a lot of energy that I shouldn't have.
Is he the best fighter you've ever fought? Is he the hardest puncher?
He's a pretty strong puncher, but I just think I wasted a lot of energy in those in the second round, just throwing a bunch of unnecessary punches, and then I got caught.
What is running through your mind now about being knocked out and losing your championship?
I just can't believe I lost, man. Just I lost championship. That's all about going back to the gym, regrouping.
You have a rematch clause to fight him at above 160 pounds. Would you want to fight him in your next fight, or would you want to build up to that fight again?
I would like to fight in my very next fight. I feel like that I did a lot of unnecessary things, and I'm going to go back to the drawing board and just work hard next time.
Thank you very much, champ.
Thank you, Larry.
Jim?
Well, Lennox, spectacular possibilities. Could be a rematch at 160 if they want to contest the Middleweight Championship again. Could be a rematch at 166 because that's what's called for in the contract. Or maybe Kelly Pavlik could look for the winner of Joe Calzaghe versus Mikhail Kessler, November 3, the championship at 168 pounds. What do you want to see?
I would love to, well, what happens if there's a rematch clause, he can't really go anywhere else but to go against Jermaine Taylor again. So I would love to see that fight again. It was a very exciting fight. And, the next one's going to be exciting, too. So I'm sure the fans are caked up for that and prepared for that.
Jermaine Taylor and Emmanuel Stewart spent a lot of time coming into this fight saying Kelly Pavlik is average, he's overrated, he's no big threat to us. If they do it again, this time they've been forewarned. Well, thanks very much for being with us on what has been a spectacular night of boxing in Atlantic City. 1 week from tonight. Or 2 weeks from tonight, it's a Boxing After Dark lightweight unification fight. The Baby Bull, Juan Diaz of Houston, takes on Julio Diaz of California. Julio won his title by decision over Jesus Chavez in February, while Juan has held his title for over 3 years, covering 7 title defenses, most recently a stoppage of Acelino Freitas. Diaz versus Diaz. Next on HBO, it's the premiere of Countdown to Pacquiao Barrera 2. Our documentary-style look at both men as they prepare for next week's fight. And now for our entire HBO crew, I'm Jim Lampley, saying so long from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.